evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back here with some more Hearthstone Arena action. We're up against a choice between Rogue, Warrior, and Hunter. And you know what? I don't even remember which of these was the last. Let's see. Rogue, Hunter. Oh man, Warrior. Warrior's been a while, hasn't it? Yes. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play a Warrior then. Because why not? I'm learning to embrace. I'm learning to embrace failure. That is my new policy in Hearthstone. We're just going to embrace the losses because you know what? If you never lose, then how are you going to become a better player? If you don't make mistakes, how will you learn how to fix your mistakes, right? Let's go ahead and take a really good rare here, the Frothing Berserker. This card can get out of control. And also note the thing about this card, even if you're not doing anything with it, even if it's just a 2/4 for 3, it's actually just really good. I want to talk about this for just a moment since it sort of came up, and I apologize here. I hope you'll pardon the little tangent now that I realize it. Basically, a vanilla 2-mana card has total stats of 5, and a vanilla 4-mana card has total stats of 9. So let's look at that pattern. 2 blank 9. Or excuse me, 5 blank 9. What should go in the middle? 7. So you'd expect a 3-mana card to have total stats of 7. But the only neutral 3-mana card in the game, the Magma Rager, has total stats of 6. And the Dalaran Mage, which it was a 3-mana, used to be a 2/4 that they gave +1 spell damage, was nerfed to be a 1/4. So it's actually now 2 stat points below our imaginary mark of 7, but only 1 stat point below the official mark of 6. So it seems like Blizzard is balancing the cards to make it so that a vanilla 2-mana creature's baseline is 5, a vanilla 3-mana creature's baseline is actually just 6, and then it jumps to 9 for a vanilla 4-mana creature. Which, I don't know, it's very, very odd, because there are plenty of 3-mana creatures that, have total stats of 6, like the Ironfur Grizzly. 3 + 3 is 6. But it seems like Blizzard really just makes you pay out your ears if you want a 3-mana creature that has 2 power and 4 toughness. Only class-specific cards have that 2/4 body for 3 mana. So the Frothing Berserker, even if he doesn't go out of control, is still actually great. It's like above the baseline that Blizzard seems to be balancing for 3-mana cards. Anyway, the Questing Adventurer is great, but we'll take the Stampeding Coda here because it can be really, really great. Here, I'm just going to take the best card. So I already have 3-mana card and I already have a 5-mana card. So for mana curve reasons, it's all up in the air. The Tiger is just definitely the best card here, so we'll take it there. Well, the Warrior is a pretty mediocre taunter. We'll grab the Wolf Rider because he's removal, and that's really the Warrior's hardest thing is removal. I don't like the Priestess of Elune very much, especially because I'm a Warrior, and all that my hero ability does is heal me. And Rampage, I've seen it crush me, but whenever I've tried to use it, it sucked, so we'll just take the best part again, the Scarlet Crusader. Okay, the Arcanite Reaper, I'm actually not as big a fan of it as other people are. Because if you're behind, it really, really sucks to spend your entire turn putting this weapon into play and then still not being able to hit creatures with it because you're behind. I'm going to grab Heroic Strike. It's a cheap removal spell that will help me avoid getting behind, so that's nice. Okay, well, let's take a look at this Panda and see if there's anything good that I can Panda back. Got the Scarlet Crusader to restore Divine Shield. The Wolf Rider can charge again. Stampeding Kodo can kill another thing, perhaps. I mean, the Fairy Dragon can't be killed easily, but the Panda drops. It's got the same stats. Might have a useful battle cry. We'll pick it up. Okay. Well, the Inner Rage is nifty, but I'm finding that these warrior spells are just not that good. I mean, like, they seem really cool and fun, but they just don't have enough of an impact on the game most of the time. So I'm not going to take the Inner Rage. It's going to be either the Snapshot or the Berserker. Now, they both have the same stats. The Berserker costs an extra mana for a very good ability. The Snapshot fits in a hole in my curve, but I'm actually going to gamble that I can get, like, good creatures to fill that spot, like Dark Iron Dwarf and Ascension Shieldmaster and Shieldwind Yeti. There's lots that I'm looking for, so hopefully I'll see them. Well, I'm not seeing them yet. We'll take a Flesh-Eating Ghoul. It has the biggest impact on the game. The Imp Master, okay, we're starting to get a few too many 3-drops here. So the Imp Master is great, but there's no particularly good synergy with it just yet. So we'll just take the Knife Juggler here. I don't like Commanding Shout. You can tell it's not that great because it draws you a card. If this were an actual good effect, it wouldn't do that. Maybe if it cost 3 mana and it made your creatures immune, that'd be one thing. But this just isn't quite good enough. We'll take a Knife Juggler. Okay, well, Dread Corsair is taunt, and I hope I'll pick up a Fiery War Axe, so I hope it'll be 1 mana sometimes. But the Korokon Elite is just so good. We'll grab it here. It's such a good 4-drop. Spellbreaker, a 4-drop, very easy call over this trash. That's nice. Ah, Fiery War Axe. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Now, do I need to take War Golem here? We're about to the halfway point. Don't have much for late game, although the 5 drops that we do have are all pretty solid. So I'm not desperate enough yet to take the War Golem. If this were a Boulder Fist Ogre, I would take it, but nah. So the South Sea Deckhead will sometimes charge, but the Loot Hoarder will almost always draw me a card. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Fiery War Axe over Total Trash. That is great. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Armor Smith. Well, this is a distinctive creature. She's very pretty and is wearing nice pants. She also is one of the few 2-drops in the game that has 4 toughness, so she's kind of durable. Now, Commanding Shout has the advantage that it might be useful, and it draws me a card. Oh, God. Alright, we'll take the Commanding Shout. I'm not a big fan of that Armor Smith. Not a big fan of this guy, so we'll take another Charging 4/3. That's great. And I still am not taking any taunt, but God, this monkey, I just hate it so much. Do I have any taunt at all? I have no taunt. Okay, the Wolf Rider is nice, but we're going to take the monkey just so that we have some taunt. Warsong Commander is out of control. I mean, I could actually consider taking this, but not over a game-winning card like the Warsong Commander. Oh dear. Well, this is sort of a nightmare. Oh my god, I hate these sorts of rares. The Angry Chicken, like, it's a funny card, but like at the same time, because it exists and because you can see it in the arena and because it can sometimes be like a terrible card in a pack full of terrible cards, it actually is very, very frustrating. So I have 1 Silence in this stack that might make the Ancient Watcher a 4/5, but I can't get risk that. So we're going to play the Cold Light Oracle and we're going to mulligan it and hope we never draw it. Okay, Dark Iron Dwarf. It wasn't very good for me in my last arena, but it is still a ball breaker of a card, so we'll pick it up. Acolyte of Pain. I gotta think about this, because card draw would be nice, but I think we'll just take another 5-drop. We're lacking for late game, and if we don't see any more big creatures, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Defender Vargas is perfect. It gives me taunt, it gives me buff. The Abomination also gives me taunt, but the Defender Vargas is cheaper and potentially better. I'm actually going to take the Motion Warden here, because again, I'm a little bit low on the taunt. And here, you know what? The Wind Fairy Harpy. I'm coming around on this card. I need late game. It hits like a truck. We're going to take it. Ugh. Well, I guess we'll take the Knight there. So I can take a Spiteful Smith. I do have 2 weapons, but that's it. But it's basically, I'll be taking it just because of its stats. Now, the Flesh Eating Ghoul is great, but we have a fair number here of 3-mana creatures. So we'll take the Smith just for the stats, just to have big stuff in the deck. This guy's very strong. The Divine Shield. The Gnomish Inventor, though, for card draw might be nice. I have a Cold Light Oracle, but I'm not really counting that. I have Commanding Shout and Loot Hoarder. That's it. We'll trust my instincts. I'm going to grab the Inventor right there. Okay. So here we can grab the Ogre. Execute is nice, but the Ogre is nicer. And another Defender of Argus over the removal? Yes, please. Okay. So, well, that draft ended up being kind of interesting. We have this very tight mana block. I wouldn't even call it a curve, per se. No 1-mana things, nothing for 7 mana. It's all between 2 and 6 with a huge, huge block at 2, 3, and 4. Well, the deck could definitely perform well, but the main reason I say that is because I picked up 2 Fiery War Axes. There are some Warrior Commons, of course, I never saw. I never saw an Arathi Weaponsmith, for example. But all things considered, if there's one common that I absolutely always see as in a Warrior Arena item, I'd want it to be the Fiery War Axe. Banger the Priest is up to play. And because I have so many 2 and 3 drops, we're actually just going to mulligan this whole thing. That's not to say there's not good stuff for the Kodo to kill, like Lightwells and Northshire Clerics, but let's make sure we have plays, and oh my god. We throw back a bunch of 5-mana cards and get more 5-mana cards. That's great. Well, this could be a bad game if I don't top deck my way out of the situation. At least I have something to do on turn 3, that's good. In my last arena, mages wrecked me. It was really, really depressing, so hopefully we're just not going to see any mages. I've had my fill of mages. My opponent has, of course, a fast start to go along with my nice and slow one. This is, I guess, not the most threatening thing in the world. Loot Hoarder. Just in time. So if I had not mulliganed every single one of my card, I would not have seen this Loot Hoarder, and that's why I like to mulligan aggressively when my hand is bad, because you can like keep one of your cards around and whatnot, but it's just not worth it when you consider like the ability to sacrifice the opportunity to get a clutch card. So my opponent played Silence on the Loot Hoarder to stop me from drawing a card. All things considered, I'm alright with this. Just played the Frothing Berserker, which I also would not have seen had I not mulliganed everything. And we have a 4/4 on turn 3. That's really damn good. So my priestly friend here really can't kill this at all. Can a priest at all kill this? On turn 3 with no coin? I don't think he can. It dodges the shadow words. It's just real frustration. Well, we fell behind a little bit, but then we caught right back up. So we're swinging for 6 damage here, which is insane. And we've got a really good drop coming down. The Tiger is like... You know what? The Tiger is actually one of my favorite cards in the game. Backstab is one of my favorite cards, and then the Tiger is one of the other ones. It's just such a good drop. Commanding Shout, is that actually worth it here? It would drop them both to 1 health, whereupon they would die to a Holy Nova. I could also just put this monkey in the way. Or I could just ignore this thing, let it kill one of my creatures, and say, well, that's life. If I could have just had something take 1 more damage, that would have been nice. What do you think? This would be a 2-1, this would be a 3-3. Here's what I'll do. I actually will do this. Stampeding Kodo. Oh! That would have been actually pretty good a little moment ago. But anyway, we're going to actually attack with the Frothing Berserker first. Keep it alive. And then we're going to use this guy. So he's at 2-4, so he'll actually survive Holy Nova. This will die to Holy Nova and Holy Smite. We're actually then going to play the monkey. Why not? Got a taunt, might as well use it. And we'll see if my opponent has Holy Smite. If he has Shadow Word Death, I don't mind. Holy Nova. Okay, that's also fine. That was his entire turn. That's okay. Okay, well, that was great. So we're going to just go ahead and play the biggest thing we've got.
Ready, sir.
And we're still dominating the game at the moment. Priest is 2 turns away from Mind Control, and honestly, Mind Control really wouldn't even save him here. I've got nothing that's devastatingly ball-breaking to have Mind Controlled. So as long as I have an edge going into turn 8, I can just play something knowing that he'll Mind Control, spend his whole turn, and I'll still be totally fine after the Mind Control. Indeed. He seems to... I think he feels himself in a bad position and can't quite decide what to do. Oh my gosh, this monkey really paid itself off right there. It popped the Divine Shield against the Argent Commander. That is pretty superb. And the Defender of Argus could not have come at a better time. Now, if my opponent had Shadow Word Death, would he have used it? He might not have, because he had the Holy Nova to finish off my Frothing Berserker. Basically, I'm concerned about putting this Defender here, because it'll put my guy to the point where Shadow Death will kill it. What I'm thinking of doing is actually just using him as an overpriced... Oh, no. Here's what I do. Aha. Perfect. We're going to play the Scarlet Crusader first. Then we're going to play the Defender of Argus. This is now a 4-2. It dodges Shadow Words. This is now a 3-3. It'll kill the Argent Commander. And there we go. Basically, I didn't want to buff this guy with the Defender of Argus because I didn't want him to be killable by Shadow Word Death. A 4-4 is like the Priest's Achilles heel. It's so difficult for them to deal with it. Opponent looks like he's got a Divine Spirit. Aha.
I'm ready to learn.
Well, that's fine by me. I have the silence here. Can I actually win the game? 1 second. 3, 7, 11, 13, 17. Yes, I do actually win the game. Oh, I really hope I didn't make an arithmetic error. Alright, that's nice. Alright, a turn 8 victory. That's pretty good. We will take it against Banger the Priest. Had I been against a mage, Flame Strike would have wiped out everything except for the Scarlet Crusader, and it would have been a longer game. So that was a pretty good start. I'm happy to have that, and honestly, I didn't even use Fiery War Axe. But I'm going to give myself some credit. I had like a 4-drop in my opening hand. I could have kept it, but I chose not to. Because of that, I drew the Loot Hoarder in time, and then I also drew something else important in time. Anyway, I drew a number of good cards in time. Dumale, the Warlock. Alright, I feel pretty good against Warlocks. They rush, and I heal, so it's pretty nice. Here, we'll keep the Frothing Berserker. It's a 3-drop, but we'll pass back the more expensive stuff, hopefully getting some of our 2-drops. Ah, Fiery War Axe. Okay, now I've lost a couple of games to Warlocks in recent memory. I believe it was against the same player. It was a gentleman named Trank, who just played all the Blood Imps he had, and like had 3 Blood Imps on the board. All his creatures had extra health, and I could never kill him. So hopefully this Warlock's not going to do that nonsense. Hopefully he'll just play a nice Flame Imp and let me Fiery War Axe it, and we'll be off to the races. Look at that! Papa Boris, calling it like a pro. Well, let's go ahead and do that then. Does he have a coin to some? Ooh, coin something else. Wow. What you got, buddy? Another Flame Imp? Blood Imp. Jesus Christ, the Blood Imps. Well, we're gonna just gloat in the fact that Fiery War Axe deals 3 damage and can kill Flame Imps. I don't actually have anything that will flush this out. Oh my god. I actually, no, I do. I have one thing. I have Stampeding Kodo. That's the only thing I have against Blood Imp. Anything else? I don't have any Whirlwind. Yeah, I'm just screwed on that front. Okay. I could play a Frothing Berserker. The issue is that the Warlock's primary removal spell is Shadow Bolt, and it would kill it at 3 mana, which would suck. But the Warlock also has Mortal Coil, so I'm not thrilled by the prospect of running in a Wolf Rider either. So we'll play a Frothing Berserker and just hope that my opponent does not have Shadow Bolt. And you know what? If he does, that's his whole turn. And next turn I've got this coming down, which will also be something for him to deal with. Alright, Ironfur Grizzly is actually a very good card here because the Blood Imp prevents it from dying to the Fiery War Axe. I actually drew my Stampeding Kodo. I cannot complain. Let's go ahead and play the Korokron Elite. That does kill the bear. My Frothing Berserker is a 4/4, essentially, for 3 mana, which is really, really great. We'll hold on to the War Axe here. So now, my next turn, it's very lucky that I drew the Stampeding Kodo. I can kill the Blood Imp and end the Tyranny. It could actually be really, really amazing, because if my... Uh-oh, I think this is a Hellfire coming up. There's really no other reason my opponent would do that. Well, so I draw my 1 out against the Blood Imp, and then my opponent kills the Blood Imp himself. So if I play the Panda and the Wolf Rider, the risk is twofold. Number 1, Hellfire, killing both my creatures. Number 2, Mortal Coil. So I really don't want to play this Wolf Rider against a Warlock specifically because of Mortal Coil. Mortal Coil is a spell for 1 mana, deal a damage to a creature. If the minion dies, draw a card. So it's 1 mana, kill a thing, draw a card. It's card advantage and killing everything, and it's a mana. It's just incredibly good. So I don't want my opponent to be able to do that. Alright, he's going to play a Voidwalker, which is reasonable, because it basically stops me from killing something else with the Fiery War Axe. The Summoning Portal, I'm not too keen on that living, so what I'm actually going to do here is use the other tick of the War Axe. I mean, yes, it's not the best thing to kill, but whatever, it is a thing. So, even though the War Axe killed 2 1-drops, Flame Imp and a Voidwalker, it still was 1 card for 2 mana that took out 2 of my opponent's cards. And I've got board advantage here. It's actually very difficult for my opponent right now. These things have 5 health, which does not die to Shadow Bolt. Ah, Sunwalker. Well, here's where my drafting of the Spellbreaker comes in handy. Let's go ahead and silence this thing. Do I wish to kill it? Yes, I do. So I'm going to choose this time to run the Wolf Rider in. Boink. We'll then use this guy. And we'll swing. So I've opened myself up to a Mortal Coil, but it's fine. I've got such good board advantage here that I should be okay going down a card. So my opponent has 5 cards, I have 6. He'll catch up, it'll be 5 and 5 after the Mortal Coil. No, he's got a Shadow Bolt. Uh-oh, is this another Hellfire coming up? Interesting. I don't mind that, actually, if that is what it is. What, is it a Mortal Coil coming up? What are you doing? I don't know what... I'm not a big fan of using these, like, preemptive Shadow Bolts. Now, I could play the Boulderfist Ogre, obviously, but here's the thing. I actually want to be able to play the Warsong Commander and the Boulderfist Ogre on the same turn, which I can do next turn, to have a charging 6/7 for 6 mana, which is outrageous. Can I win, though? 4, 7, 9... Oh yeah, I do win. Okay. So this is a little bit of finesse. This thing gives your other minions charge, so instinctively you want to play it first, then your other minions. But it's actually correct to play, in some cases, your other minions first, like this Knife Juggler. And then I play the Warsong Commander, fling the knife, and then I can attack with the creature I played earlier. It's one of those things that it may seem kind of silly to talk about, but it really does make a really big difference in some cases. So just with the help of a Fiery War Axe and good creatures, Stampeding Kodo taking out the Summoning Portal was definitely nice. We score a very, very secure victory. And actually both victories were secure, happening on turn 8 in both cases. Well, this arena is off to a pretty good start. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video and or subscribe. And the rest of the games are going to be coming up soon if you want to see those, so stick around, folks. Papa Boris will be back. We'll see you in a bit.